he has said a story today. So the title of the story was The Drunkard, and the story begins with a man who was married, and it was going well. He had a habit of drinking. So hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today is both day 5, 6 and 7. So I did not upload any video from 2 days because I was a bit busy, I was not feeling it. So I'm going to talk about day 5, 6 and 7 in this video. So this is going to be a very long and fun video also. So stay till the end. So let's start without any further ado. Day 5. It was Friday and it was 12 June 2026. So today I did not feel like going to college. As soon as I woke up, I went to my mom and I said I was feeling not too good and I did not really want to go to college today. She said okay, and I went back to sleep and I woke up later in the afternoon, ate my breakfast at the time. After that, I have gamed for some time, streamed also. Next, I had my lunch around 2:30 when my mom had come home, and again after that I had done some gaming, was writing my pending works which were due on that day because I did not go to college, right? So I was doing that and all, and it was a normal, very okay day because I was very relaxed. So I was at home, right? I felt very peaceful, I was very relaxed, and I was basically doing nothing. And I asked one of my friends about what had happened on that day in college. So the first video was actually B3. So B3 it went normally. So today or on that day there were 2 periods of B3, 2 periods of data structures, and remaining consisted of maths, physics and English. So there was no lab on that day. So it was a very easygoing day. English was about mock interviews, and so has discussed a new term, jargon. So what jargon means? It is basically related to a term where people use some words that are suitable for a certain profession or a certain work culture or a certain group. They use like short words. And for example, let's say spoon feeding. So what spoon feeding generally means? So what the main problem is that I did not attend the class, right? So I don't really know much about it. So it basically means the short words or terms which are used in a work ethic or a group. So that was all about English. DS was about trees and hashing. So hashing was a new topic. And when I went to college on Saturday, it was not really that easy to understand what it meant. I tried reading it myself, I did not really understand any of it. After that, if we had to go to Max as usual, and the pending, there was at least 7 to 8 pages that I had to write in my notes. So it was very, stressful to not go on the day, because generally I don't want to miss out a day of college because of all these pending works or something that happens different. I don't really want to miss the moments. So I mostly try to go to college every day. So yesterday, Friday was a bit unfortunate. And besides that, I had a good night's sleep. So this is all about day 5. On day 6, it was 13 June and it was Saturday. So on Saturday, we wear civil dress. And it is a lot fun because I have to choose what color I have to wear on the particular day, and it is very confusing, or it is very hard to choose one color combination. So what color combination I went was with blue on the top and black on the bottom. So it was a good combination, I would say. Wore my dress, had my morning routine, went to college. Even today the first period was English, but today or on Saturday the interesting parts were we started on unit 5, and the name of the unit is the power of interpersonal communication, and it defines that generally we talk from person to person, and that is called interpersonal communication, where inter means in between two people. or two or more you can. And intrapersonal means the conversation you have with yourself, because whenever, for example, you are performing something like you are going to sing, you are going to dance, or you are giving a speech, you question yourself, right? How should I start, how should I end, how should I keep the pace of the speech, or how you are going to be a bit nervous, bit anxious, and the only person that can calm you is yourself, because you have to think mentally and you have to be mentally very prepared to do something. And the power of interpersonal communication is that when you are very excellent at communicating with yourself, you tend to be also able to communicate very amazingly good with other people. So that is the power of interpersonal communication, in my opinion. So the unit has just started. Our faculty professor has given just the gist of it, and we were talking about some things like human cognition, like understanding each other, metacognition, the ability to know what one person thinks, or there were many terms, and the one term that stuck with me is introspection. So what does introspection mean? So introspection means examining yourself or observing yourself, like how you think, how you act, and etc. And the main thing that caught my eye was that this word was widely used in Mahatma Gandhi's autobiography. So the title of the book of his autobiography is My Experiments About Truth, or My Experiments with Truth, not about truth, with truth. And it is an amazing book. I haven't read it yet, but my professor has said it is a really amazing book. It covers many points about this, and mainly how his life was, right? So that's all about English. And yeah, there is one more thing. He has said a story today. So the title of the story was The Drunkard. So generally, you know what a drunkard is. A drunkard is a person who is addicted to alcohol or who drinks daily. And the story begins with a man who was married, and it was going well. He had a habit of drinking, and suddenly one day his wife said that she was mentally exhausted by his habit of drinking and all, and she wanted him to be a gentleman, to have a cooperative relationship, and it was not he was not it was like she did not really see the other side of him. And she said that either you stay with me, you stop drinking and be a gentleman and help out, or I am going to leave the house. And after thinking for a while, he said that he is going to leave the house on his own. So they also had a daughter, and he left the house. He moved to another town, and he spent around half a decade, no, a decade and a half. So 15 to 20 years, he spent his life in the other town. And one fine day, there was a client and an advocate. So the difference between an advocate and a lawyer. So generally, lawyer is the person who studies law or who studied law, but advocate is the person who has studied and practices law. So that is the difference between advocate and lawyer. So there was this client who was considering his advocate for some help, and the thing was that they needed some forgery. So they needed someone who does forgery really well. And here comes our drunkard into the story. So he is a great forger. They called upon him, and the drunkard and the advocate had a backstory, like they knew each other. So our drunkard, our main character, asked that how his family was doing, how everything was in the village and town. And the advocate reassured him that it was going very well, his daughter is doing well, and his wife is also doing well. So his wife is a seamstress. So what is a seamstress? The person who takes sewing or stitching as a profession, and who is a tailor. And in the they ask him to do forgery, right? They tell him they are going to get crores of rupees if he does the forgery, and this forgery was going to be done by a donor, So a donor was there who donates crores of rupees to charities. So they wanted to do forgery for that, and the drunkard has taught for a bit and he refused. He said that he does not want to do this. He would rather stay a drunkard than buying respect. So the key takeaway points from this lesson were that he said two things, like you can't buy respect, you have to earn it, and he said that I would not sell my soul to earn respect. So it was a very wonderful plot, and he just left, saying that these all things caused him a headache, and he wanted some alcohol to calm it all down, and he left. So that's the end of the story. I think it's a good story, and I also tried to research it about our sir just said the summary or what he knew, because when he was taught this lesson it was around 20 years ago or 25 years ago, and I tried to research it but I could not really find it because I don't know the author, I just know the title of the book. This was all about English period on Saturday, and after that we had our data structures lab, where this is the last day where we get to execute the programs and complete our observations and all, and we also had to submit our assignment today itself. The funny thing, right, I wouldn't say, I don't want to blame it on the faculty, because in some questions she did not fully clarify what particular question meant, because for example the question was construct B tree. We were taught BS tree, BS tree, and we did not know we had to write BS tree, and trees was not started before the holidays, and the assignment was given in the holidays. So everyone had their own source to write the question, and we did not know what to do. And she was almost disappointed with everyone because everyone did not write what she wanted and what the question asked. So that was a lot of unnecessary shouting, I would say. It was a very unpleasant class for a period. And after seeing everyone getting shouted and all, I at last, opened the PDF and I searched about what I had to write, and I saved myself. It was a very stressful class. That was all about DS lab. And after that, the whole afternoon we did not have any class because there was a drive going on in our college, and all the faculty had went, not drive, there was a training session for drives. So all the faculty had gone to help the students from our third year or fourth year, and the second years have come to manage the classes. The second and third years they had their exams completed, but the people who are in NSS, National Service Scheme, they came to the college and managed the first year classes. It was a very pleasant session because I had talked with the senior. A senior who I know came to manage our class, right? So I was talking about him about many things like editing, how do I study this, how do I study that, all etc. etc. It was a very fun time conversating with him, and also I was just completing my pending works, and almost all the time I had gone into completing them and talking with him, and the time passed. It was a good day, not the greatest day, but yeah. After that, I boarded onto bus, came home, and I went to get myself checked up. So it has been around 12 to 13 days since the surgery, and the doctor said that I was doing pretty well. I still had to do some procedures to fully get the breathe properly. That was all about the checkup session. After that, I have a friend who I know from around second class, and I'm still in contact with him. So his name is Rohan. He is currently studying in NIT, and he has been selected as a Google Student Ambassador, and he has scheduled a meeting today. So the meeting was about Google tools. You have to use Google tools, and you have to create a AI track and a poster for the band. It was a good session, very fun session also, because everyone was using their creativity, their talent, and their ideas to create the poster and then create the track. And there were some very amazing tracks, and it felt very, you know, I would say it felt very useful, and I had used my time very well in that point of time. Like I joined the meeting at 8:30, and the meet has started at 8. So I was pretty late to the meeting, but still I had submitted mine. It was a very great session. After that, I had my dinner, wrote some record work or manual work, you can say, and after that, I went to sleep. And today is Sunday. Sunday is just another day where I can relax fully, but I don't really tend to. I have been writing. We had our DS ma'am said us to get our manuals printed and write the outputs, right? So I am currently writing them. That's all about Sunday. And maybe the videos are going to get a bit delayed on uploads because I have exams coming up. So I will try to upload consistently, but mostly they are going to be very short. So see you in the next video. If you like the video, like, share and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.